Hunting in its modern form has always seemed to me something ridiculous and wrong, because man with the advent of firearms has gained an incredible advantage in confronting wildlife. There is no longer a clash between the two entities of mind and force. Here the hunter comes to the woods. Here he has nothing to fear and nothing to threaten, because he has a universal weapon behind him against any inhabitant of these places. But my faith was shaken by the story of an experienced hunter who was not too lazy to go to the most remote places. He hunted, of course, not alone, but with a group of like-minded people. For them, the action became a real journey that could take several days or even weeks. Over his long career, Hunter, let's call him Roman, probably met with all the inhabitants of the taiga and knew their habits by heart. But during his hike, hunters really came across something very unusual. It was winter. Roman and his hobbyist friends managed to get to one of their favorite places during the January vacations. They are solid people and take their hobby very seriously. So needless to say, the men's outfit and preparation was very professional. By the way, alcohol was allowed only on the last day, when the whole group gathered in a specially built hunting lodge to quietly celebrate a successful expedition. Prior to that day, drinking in their company was expressly forbidden, so it was impossible to blame all subsequent events on the consequences of drinking alcoholic beverages. The winter forest greeted the group with unfriendly Siberian frosts and deep drifts. Fortunately, the men were used to such difficulties. On the first day, the men were occupied with setting up camp, bringing the small house into a livable condition and all the usual routine that happens on hard hikes. The company was large, cheerful and well coordinated. The second day was devoted to reconnaissance. The hunters walked all the known animal trails, carefully checked for bear tracks and so on. A full-fledged trip out into the wilderness was not planned until the third day, but it was not destined to happen. In order not to lose time, a large company on the day of reconnaissance was usually divided into small groups. This time was no exception. Roman's group returned first and began to prepare the house for dinner. We had to fetch water from a nearby stream, prepare food, nothing specific in general. And now the sun was beginning to set, and the second group was still missing. At first the hunters joked, but time passed and the jokes got out of hand. And then, just as the friends were about to leave in search of their missing comrades, they came out to the cabin themselves. Wet and shaken. According to the missing men, they had somehow wandered into unfamiliar terrain, something the three experienced hunters, equipped with the latest technology, had never expected. The hunters said something strange happened to their equipment, and even their compass refused to work properly. The arrow just rotated lazily, which was totally confusing. But the most incomprehensible thing happened later. At some point the group was seized by panic. The men lost control of themselves and began to run, cutting the forest snow with their skis. Strangely enough, that's how they came to the hut. Unexpectedly and accidentally. Okay, the situation was unpleasant and incomprehensible, but the men had come to hunt and would definitely do it tomorrow. They ate, went to bed, and gradually, one by one, began to snore. Roman, on the other hand, could not sleep at all. His head was filled with oppressive thoughts that prevented him to look forward to tomorrow's hunt. Evening tea was begging to be outside, and the hunter, trying not to make any noise, went outside. The sky was clear, the bright moon and thousands of stars illuminated the hut and the glade in front of it. And in this heavenly light the animal tracks, narrow paths that wove around the hut, were well read. Only an experienced hunter could not recognize the beast that left this strange trail. I immediately thought one of my friends was making a joke, but each of them knew that such a joke could easily get them disqualified from working on a professional team. And no one would do that after what happened today. The trail itself most resembled a dog's trail, only it had not 4 but 6 of the beast's toes. 4 in front, 2 behind. And the trail itself was several times larger than the largest wolf trail Roman had ever encountered. Strange, how could such a large animal sneak in so unnoticed? Roman was distracted from his thoughts by the crunch of branches in the forest. Roman turned around at the sound, and then turned to the cabin, and immediately his heart raced. For right from the roof of the cabin a beast was moving, lightning fast and making almost no noise. He did not have time to see it properly, but Roman did not regret it at all. The next second the hunter flew into the house, locking it with a heavy deadbolt. Then there was a long silence, broken only by the snoring of his companions and a quiet rustle somewhere nearby. Roman grabbed his rifle and peered into the dark forest through the only window in the cabin, ready at any second to raise all his comrades with a loud whistle. It did not help. He never saw the beast and, without noticing it, fell asleep sitting right in front of the window. The denouement of the story came in the morning, when the waking hunters discovered that the whole glade was trampled by these strange footprints. And, as you may have guessed, the animal had also left footprints on the roof of the hut, trampling through all the snow. But much more frightening were the claw marks that the animal had left on all the walls of the building. It scratched particularly furiously at the wall with the window, just where Roman had fallen asleep. After that, hunting was out of the question. In a hurry, the men packed their things and left. The next winter someone from Roman's company went to that clearing. He himself categorically refused to visit the place again. According to those who have been there, nothing left of the hut. Literally. It was as if someone had moved the hut with all its contents to a new location. And in the clearing itself there was an unpleasant feeling. Roman himself believes that they met a devil, and he just wanted to scare the hunters away. After all, it was easy to get into the house through the window.